Hello everyone, I'm Rafael Alvarez and this is Alvarez Metalworks. So today what we're looking at and what we're getting ready to install is the upgraded lighting kit that the Tacoma company sells for the 40-pound Harbor Freight blast cabinet, or really any blast cabinet for that matter, okay? Now, let's before we go over the kit, let's talk about something real quick. Lighting options, okay? As you can see here, we're running a flood style light. 55 watt bulbs. They are 960 lumens each, okay? That's pretty decent. That's pretty decent, especially for an enclosed area that size, okay? Now, I know a lot of you guys out there are gonna be like, they're all on the LED bandwagon thing, or let's put fluorescence. What's wrong with fluorescence? There's already a fluorescent light in there. The light that's in that cabinet sucks. It's a fluorescent bulb, but it's a 12-volt fluorescent bulb. They're running a AC to DC converter, and it's dropping it down, the power output down. It doesn't put out very good light, and that cover that they have to protect it gets frosted over, and you might as well be in there with a candle, okay? Now, can you put a better fluorescent light in there? Absolutely. Can you put LED strips in there? Absolutely. Is that the ideal situation? Ideal lighting? Absolutely not. And here's why. Let's talk about durability. Number one, let's speak on LEDs because they have an element that none of the other options do. LEDs typically come with very small gauge wire because they have low amperage draw. They build LED lights with small wires because it saves them money, okay? Now, those wires are not going to hold up to the blast environment. What's going to happen is over time, the wire itself and the shielding, may or may not get damaged, and you could have a short. If you just have strip lights or just stuck to the top of the cabinet, those things have some sort of like a silicone-based type covering over the top of them to waterproof them, if you even have that style, and it's not going to hold up to blast environment. You're going to have to protect them. You're going to have to build some sort of a housing, an enclosure for it. Okay, same thing with fluorescent. You're going to have to build some sort of an enclosure for it because the glass on those bulbs will not hold up to it. Okay? Now, problem with building an enclosure is simple. Number one is time. Time is money, and space is money too, because you're going to be clogging up space inside your cabinet to build one of these structures. And the biggest part is that when you build a protection for these things, you're going to have to use some sort of a glass or like a Lexan or something to protect the light itself. When that gets frosted up, and I say when because it will, and it will get frosted up fast. When it gets frosted up, you're going to be cutting down the light output tremendously. One could argue that it's 50% because those lights, for whatever reason, do not work well penetrating through a frosted piece of glass. The light is dramatically diminished going through there. However, for whatever reason, when you're dealing with a floodlight, where you're dealing with incandescent, they work really well in that situation. Okay, now the biggest factor on why you would want to use a floodlight and incandescent style light over those other two options, it is heat, okay? These bulbs heat up. They heat up the inside of the cabinet. They keep your blast media dry. They help to dry the air that's inside of the cabinet, and it helps to just keep an overall warm, heated up environment that is conducive to a good blasting environment. Those other two do not do that. Okay? So it is very important that you do use an incandescent bulb. Preferably the flood style, the outdoor style floodlights. The glass and the housings are more durable. When these things get frosted over, you're still going to have really good output, and they're very cheap to replace. So let's take a look at the kit. The kit comes with two bulbs. They're 55 watt bulbs. They're 900 and I believe 60 lumens a piece. I think that's what that says. You get 2 electrical boxes, you get 2 light sockets, and each one of the electrical boxes has 2 cords. It has a male and a female plug and a cord on it. One of the boxes has a switch, okay? This switch controls both of these, and that's why each one of these boxes has a male and a female cord. The box with the switch plugs into the main power supply to the cabinet. The female end that it has plugs in to this other light fixture into its male end. Now you have that extra plug. What do you use that for? You use that for your vacuum. This way, you can leave your vacuum cleaner on. You can walk up to your cabinet, flip the switch, lights come on, vacuum comes on, everything's great, good to go. When you're done, flip the switch, vacuum's off, lights off, you're done. Now, there are situations where you would want to have the lights on and not the vacuum. That's simple. Walk over to your vacuum, leave these on, walk over to your vacuum and turn it, switch off. But what this does is it simplifies things, and it's a really nice setup, so you're not having to have multiple power supply or power sources running to your blast cabinet. It allows you to just have one extension cord or whatever running to it and be able to power up everything that you need. So, with that being said, this kit comes fully assembled. The light bulbs aren't screwed into the sockets, but outside of that, it comes fully assembled. Now, you can mount it anywhere you want. You can mount this on any style of cabinet that will, that you could think of. It's a very neat setup, very simple, very straightforward, very durable, okay? However, because it's all set up, and they do this for product testing and for reverse engineering and making it easier for the customer to be able to figure out how to wire this up, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to disassemble all of it, okay? The reason you're having to disassemble it is because the elbow and the light socket is inside the cabinet, whereas the box is outside of the cabinet. So you need to pull these apart to do that. Now, I highly recommend that you take photographs or draw or write out notes on what wires go where. This way you don't make any mistakes. You don't have to ask anybody for electrical help or anything like that if you're uncomfortable doing that. Just document where everything hooks up and hook it up back the same way that it was, and it will work, okay? So with that being said, let's walk over here to the cabinet. I'm going to mount them here and here. Now this is a real simple installation. I'm going to remove the glass, which I've already taken the quick, I've got a quick change glass kit installed on this, also by the Tacoma company. I'm going to take the glass out of here. I'm going to change the glass. I'm going to put the new glass back on. I'm going to fire up the old fluorescent light. I'm going to shoot a couple of pictures, or at least one picture, so that you guys can see what it looks like with clean glass and the factory light. Then I'm going to remove the glass again, and I'm going to start installing. Do you need to remove the glass? No, but this is the point of the quick change kit, is it makes it easier to access what you're working on. So take it out, you'll be able to reach in here and you'll be able to comfortably do this job by yourself, okay? Basically what you're doing is, once you disassemble this electrical box, you have this nut right here that holds the light fixture to the electrical box. This will be removed and that will come out. You'll put your box in position on the cabinet. You'll take a marker or Sharpie or something and you'll draw out where you need to cut that hole for this to fit into there, okay? You'll use, obviously like a drill bit or something like that's not going to be big enough. You could use a drill bit and a burr to open that up. You can use a small hole saw. I've got punches specifically for electrical work, so I could use that if I wanted to. Whatever you have in your shop to make that size of hole, make it happen, and then reassemble everything with this inside of the cabinet and this outside. Now, you'll see here that Normally these style of electrical boxes, they screw to a cat or they screw to the wall or whatever. Do you need to do that? No, because this will sandwich it in there. But for the sake of stability, you may want to put one screw through the box and into the cabinet just to kind of hold it so it doesn't spin on you. So just keep that in mind, and we're, with that being said, let's get this installed. Be right back. Okay, so we got the light fixture housing, whatever you want to call it, with the switch torn apart. Okay, you got the 2 screws here, and then you got 2 more screws that hold in the actual light switch to the box. And now I want you to take a look inside of here. For those that are not familiar with doing this kind of work, let me get you in some better light here. I'll show you what we're dealing with. Okay, so that's what we got. These white wires are a neutral, I guess you call it, neutral. Yeah, that's exactly what they are. Your black wires are hot, your green wires are a ground. Okay, so now the only wires that we need to be concerned about right now are the wires that go, the black and the white wire that go down into the actual light socket. So this is as simple as untwisting the wire nut. And then the black wire that's coming out is going into the switch, which is right there. So disconnect those 2, and then you see that kind of like gear style nut. Now take a flathead screwdriver and start forcing that tap on it to get it to rotate and twist off. Okay, grab it with a pair of pliers, whatever you got to do to grab that, twist it off, and then you should be able to pull this entire light socket off of the box. At that point, I wouldn't remove any of these wires. Just leave it all intact. You should have plenty of room to work here. What we'll do is we'll take this thing and we'll set it down here on the top corner of this cabinet, and then we'll mark out our hole, remove it, cut our hole, and then put it together. In the meantime, I'm going to remove this light switch, and I'm going to remove the light fixture that's in there, as well as you have this bolt here and that bolt there. I'm going to put the bolts back in so that I don't have any air leaks or whatever. I don't want holes all over this cabinet. I don't want it to be like Swiss cheese. So I'll probably put those bolts back into their holes, just get rid of the light fixture and the brackets. So that's our next step. I just wanted to show you guys that, to show you it's not scary. If you're not used to electrical work, it's a real simple process. Once it's all back together, you just reverse what you did and connect the wire where it goes, put the white one back in that wire nut, which is reusable, and then, put the light from the bottom side into this. You could drop a screw down through the housing to hold it into place, or you could choose not to. Just depends on what you feel comfortable with, just to keep this from twisting, and then you're done on this side. The other side's actually simpler because you don't have a switch. So you'll probably have, I got to open it up, but I'm pretty sure we're just going to have 2 wire nuts on the other side. So, and we'll have more room to work because we won't have the switch in there. So same thing. Anyway, let me get this apart. Let me get that stuff off of there, and then we'll mark out our holes, and then we'll go from there. Okay, everyone. So I positioned my box so the left edge of the box is right up against this lip, and the top edge of the box is up against this lip. Drew out the hole. It's a 7/8 hole, so I'm going to use a hole saw, and that simple. I just kind of basically looked for center, just roughly. It's not critical that this is in a perfect position, okay? But you do want to have your light as far to the corner as possible so that you're not obstructing anything inside with it, okay? So let's get this hole drilled, and we'll go from there. I'm using my Milwaukee cordless drill fuel. Love this thing. Okay, simple as that. Now I'll take the box, I'll mount the box, and then I'll put in my light from the bottom. So I'm going to get the other side marked out over there. I'm going to drill the hole so I don't have to do any more drilling or anything like that, and be ready to go. So you got the idea. I'll be back once I get the fixture on, and we'll look back at the wiring again just for reference, and then get it fired up and we'll see what it looks like. Okay everyone, so I've got both boxes mounted onto the cabinet. Basically, let me show you the inside before I put you back on the tripod. Okay, so I put one self-tapping screw. If you guys don't know what a self-tapping screw is, I have a bunch of them here in my shop. You could drill that out and put a bolt and a nut. I put a short self-tapping screw. What that does is has a screw that has like kind of a drill bit at the end of it. So it'll drill itself through the metal and then screw into it. Like I said, I've got a whole bunch of those, so that's what I use because it was quick and easy. The hole's in there, line up the hole, then I put that in there. I put the screw in the top left corner on this one. On this other one, I put it at the top left corner as well. The reason I put it at the top left corner on this is because it will have the screw out of the way, make sure that this light socket doesn't hit it. On this side, I didn't want it to stick down over here and potentially scratch me when I'm putting stuff in here. So the elbow on the light fixture will help protect me from that. But I put it at the rearmost one so that it doesn't get in the way of the light bulb socket. Like I said, you only really need one because it's just to help it so it doesn't rotate on you. Because this right here is really what's going to clamp it together. So let me put you on the tripod real quick. And essentially what we're doing here is I'm going to go through the glass here, or where the glass used to be in the cabinet, and I'm going to feed my wires up through that hole and then feed the socket into that electrical box. Okay, the socket's in there. Now I've got that nut thing. I'm going to feed the wires through it. Just those two wires. Drop it down and screw the light socket onto it, or use that to screw the light socket in place. Okay, like I said, there may be a special tool for those things. I've never seen one. I just use a screwdriver and just kind of use those little teeth to wrench it in place, and then just twist the bulb socket, and it should tighten right up. So now, as far as the wiring's concerned, we have the two wires that we disconnected. It's as simple as undoing your wire nut, putting the three wires together, just kind of twist them like so. Take your wire nut, put that back on there, and just twist it. Press it on, twist it until it's tight, and you're good. So now, trying to find my Phillips head screwdriver because I'm unprepared to shoot this video apparently. Anyway, I can't find it. I don't want to waste any time. Now, this is where we took this wire out of. So I'm going to loosen this back up. When I took it out, I tightened it up so the other wire didn't fall out. I'm going to loosen it back up, twist this end so it's not all frayed. And if you look right here, you see how it's got the two wire inserts? I'm going to put it in the empty one and then tighten it back down. It goes behind the little brass plate thing there. So, and once you've done that, you can put your switch back in. The screws go in these tabs, through this tab and into that tab, and then put your cover down on it, and you're done. Okay, the other side's even simpler because you don't have a light switch. You just have the two wire nuts, like I said, that are right there. So you'll hook up your wires to the two wire nuts, tuck the wires back in that box, and put the cover on it. It's as simple as that. Then as far as the plugs go, like I said, this male plug from that box goes into the female plug of this box. And they're long enough where you'll be able to kind of tuck them behind the cabinet so they're not a big eyesore. Okay. You know, once this is all tight and secure, that won't rotate anymore because they'll have the socket in there. This one doesn't rotate because it's got the screw and the socket. That doesn't have the socket in yet. So, but once it's done, like I said, this wire just drops down behind and it's out of the way. And then the short pigtail is right there where I keep my vacuum. The vacuum's on that side of the cabinet, works out great. So, that being said, let me get this completely put together. And oh, let me show you one real quick thing here. On the socket itself, you may have to adjust the elbow, okay? There's a screw right there, and you see how it's got little teeth? You loosen that screw up, and then you can rotate this down so it's more at a straight angle or more at an angle. You know, it'll allow you to pivot that joint. So, that's how you do that if you need to make that adjustment. It's real simple. So, you know, once they're in there, you'll position the lights where you want them, preferably one facing, zoom back out, one facing diagonal across this way and that one facing diagonal across this way so that you get pretty good lighting and even distribution inside the cabinet. Anyway, let me get this back together and we'll take a look at it and see what we got. Okay, so we got this all wired up. We got one bulb in. There's one thing that I want to show you guys here real quick. This kit comes with these little gaskets for the light bulbs, okay? Let me try not to break this. They slide over the back of the bulbs like this. And what that's going to do is it's going to help keep sand out of the socket itself. So, you know, and then you just screw it in just like a regular light bulb. So let me get that screwed in and then we'll get the glass all in place and show you guys the before and after again. All right, so here we are, we got the glass in place. I don't think there's any debating on if this is brighter or not. I mean, there's a ton of light in this thing. It makes the old light look like it wasn't even there. So I'll take a quick snapshot, I'll let you guys see it, but ultimately, if you guys are interested in that kit, for your cabinet, give Mike at the Tacoma Company a call. He'll be glad to speak with you. He can give you the price point on it. And that's pretty much it. The number's in the video. It's also in the video description on YouTube. Remember to subscribe, comment, like, as well as check out RourkeSupply.com. They're my channel sponsor. Use coupon code METAL to get 10% off anything that you order from them. That's my thank you to you and their thank you to you for supporting my channel. And that's pretty much it. If you guys know anybody with these cabinets and they really could use to upgrade these, upgrade them, send them over to my channel to take a look, or send them over to my Facebook page so they can see what I've done and see the videos, the video links there. So thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later.